Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I hope you guys had a really great weekend and enjoyed the Super Bowl as much as I did. The game really wasn't that great, especially as someone who's worked in sports before. I expected a much higher caliber game, something with a little bit more excitement, but it was a really great defensive game, but I just prefer games that are much more higher score. But halftime was awesome, and I loved Coldplay, and I loved Beyonce and Bruno Mars. I think they all did a really great job. And there was a lot of references to when Michael Jackson was playing at the Super Bowl, and so I thought it was really great. And so today, I'm not doing anything related to the Super Bowl. I'm going to be doing a Cara Delevingne look. And if you don't know who she is, she's a model for Burberry, YSL, a bunch of different companies. And she was in the book... she was in the movie Paper Towns, and I just think she's really awesome. She's an activist, and she's just really super cool, and I'm going to be doing one of her looks today from an editorial magazine. So I've already done a little bit of prep by doing my foundation and my eyebrows, which on fleek, and I'm just kind of moving on to concealer, and I'm going to be using two different ones today. And like always, I'll link all the products down below. If you're wanting to know what foundation I used, it was Not a Sheer Glow in the color Gobi. And eyebrows, I used Anastasia Brow Wiz in the color Dark Brown. So for concealer, I'm using the Rimmel Match Perfection 2-in-1 concealer and highlighter. And this is the color 230 Fair Light. And I love this. This tube is almost out, which means I'm going to have to buy a new one very soon. And this one, I'm actually just going to be putting on my chin, on my nose a little bit, and then around my nose. And then I have another one that's like a brightening concealer that I'm going to put under my eyes, because there's a couple of dark areas right here under my eyes I want to lighten up a little bit. And I'm going to be using one of these flat foundation brushes to blend all of this in. So down in the comments, I want to know what you guys thought of the Super Bowl if you watched it. Let me know like what your favorite commercial was, what you thought of halftime, what you thought of the game. If you don't like football, maybe just kind of like why you watched the game, maybe what your favorite Super Bowl snack was. We had buffalo chicken dip from Publix, which was awesome. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of this concealer and pop it on the back of my hand and put it on any spots that I have, because right now I'm a lot spotty, which is really frustrating, but you know, oh well. I don't know if anybody else gets these spots right by where their eyebrow ends, but they're really annoying. I think I get them because when I'm working on my computer, I tend to rest my hands right there. I also put a little bit of the Body Shop lip butter and mango on my lips because they are really dry, because it's winter and Florida sucks. And it gets really dry and miserable here. Probably not as miserable as other places, but Florida is supposed to be hot. And then I'm going to take the L'Oreal Magic Lumi highlighter and give it a couple of clicks and just put it right here on the inner corner of my eye. Apparently mine's almost out. I'm just gonna bop that in with the same brush. So for the eyes, I am going to be using this Tarte palette. It's limited edition. It was from 2 years ago, so it's not for sale anymore. But basically, you just need some browns. I'm using these two colors here, which are Eiffel For You and Hot To Handle. And one of them is more of a shimmery color, and one of them is more matte, which I'm going to put in my crease. And I'm just going to start with that shimmery color on a Real Techniques, what is this, a shading brush. I'm just going to pick some up and dust it off. And just pop that all over my lid and really blend it out. So the look that I'm doing from Cara is like a brown eye, and it's not really smoky, but it's just like really nice and clean and neat. And it's good for day or night, and a dark berry lip, which makes it more of like a nighttime going out look. But you could definitely do this with like a nude lip, and it would look great for during the day. So I'm just blending that out and putting more of the color towards my lash line, and then blending it out towards my crease. And in a little bit, I'm going to add some of that matte brown right in there as well. So I finished with that shimmer shade, and I'm moving on to the matte, and I'm going to just use the same brush because I really don't care. And I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that and tap off the excess and start at my outer corner and just work that right into my crease. And it might seem too dark for what's already on your lid now, but really just kind of work that color in and blend it out really well, and it should be okay. And then I'm going to take a Bold Metals. This is from Real Techniques as well. This is a 200 brush. And I'm just going to buff out these edges a little bit. And then to highlight a little bit, there is a kind of like a champagne color in this palette. And it's really pretty as well. And I'm just going to pop that right in my inner corners, and then right underneath my brow bone as well. I just want to brighten things up because I know that the lip color that I'm using is really dark and really bold, and I don't want my whole face to be like a dark abyss. So adding a little bit of light and putting it where the light is going to catch is really going to help to brighten things up a little bit. So just to finish up eyes before I kind of move on to other bits of my face, I'm using the Sonia Kashuk Kajal to tightline, and then I'm going to use the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara. And if you don't like tightlining, I would just put this kind of like really work it into your lash line on your lid. But I think with something like this, since it's so big and it's got, it's not like such a fine point product, that it's really easy to tightline with, and it's not as intimidating, and it doesn't hurt as much as something like a typical pencil eyeliner or like a gel eyeliner that's in one of those twist step pens. So if you're looking to try tightlining, you can get this at Target, and it's pretty easy. I'm just going to curl my lashes, and these are Tarte eyelash curlers, and they're really good. And I'm going to use the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara, like I said. And the look that Cara had, she didn't really have on a lot of mascara, but you could definitely tell that she had some on. So I'm not going to really work it up into like this like really bold kind of statement, because the statement was definitely her lips. but I do want my lashes to be noticed. And just a tiny bit on the bottom as well. And if you make any mistakes and any mascara kind of gets on your eyelid or on these like parts of your nose, just wait for it to dry and take a Q-tip and just kind of rub it over and buff it off. And that's the easiest way, because if it's wet, it's still going to smear and it's going to make a big mess. So just move on to something else and come back to it. But I am going to move on to contouring. Ooh. I'm going to move on to contouring, and for that I am going to use the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Pressed Powder in the color Tan. You guys know I love this, and I'm going to use the Real Techniques Bold Metals 301 brush. It's flat, it's beautiful. I love this kind of like rose gold look to it. This was featured in one of my favorite tools to use for beauty videos that I did last week. I'm just going to swirl this around. There wasn't a lot of contouring in the look that Cara did, but you could definitely tell that her cheeks were contoured a little bit. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to go right under my cheekbone a little bit. And I'm going to take just like a fluffy powder brush and blend that out. With contouring, you always want to blend up, because if you blend down, it's going to draw your face down more instead of drawing it up and creating that kind of higher cheekbone that contouring is meant to do. Otherwise, it's going to just make your face look bigger and it's going to draw your cheekbone down a little bit more. So just blend up. I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting, and this is a Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the color Opal. It's tiny because it came in a Christmas set that was like one of those trial sets, but it's so pretty, and it's not as much of like a golden highlighter as what Champagne Pop is, but it's more of like a champagne color, so it's more wearable for daytime. And I'm just going to use a Real Techniques setting brush to put this on, and honestly, like a little bit of this goes a long way. So I would just say be careful. But if you kind of like that really highlighted look, you can definitely go for a fuller highlight with this. So I've got two options for lips today. They're both dark berry colors. One of them is the Too Faced Melted Liquefied Liquid Lipsticks. This is in Melted Berry, and it is just like a really pretty berry color. But I think the one I'm actually going to go for today, because I love it, I haven't used it in a couple of weeks, is the new Tartiest lip paint. This is in the color Hangry, which I love all the names for these. They're really great, really funny, really clever. And I also really love these because you can be really precise with where you're putting them, because the applicator is so tiny. Like, look how tiny that is. It's so great, and it's not one of those doe foot applicators. It's actually just like a straight kind of like stick applicator. So what I tend to do, because I don't want to go overkill with the first kind of layer of this, is I tend to wipe a lot of it off, and then I kind of pick up a little bit more as I go. And I like to start kind of at the middle of my lips as well. I would say kind of the only bad thing about these is that they stain your lips really bad, so it's kind of hard to take off, and you're gonna have a really, like, especially with this color since it is so dark, it's gonna have like a bright pink stain on your lips the next day. So I would just kind of be careful. So this is my finished Cara Delevingne look. I'll link the look that I referenced for this down below, and I'll link the blog that I did about the new Tartiest lip paints down below as well. And all the products that I used will be listed down below, all my social links and everything. But if you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe, and I will see you guys again on Friday with a brand new video, and I hope you guys have a really awesome week. Bye!